a specific purpose to which only you are called. There's a blessing attached to your act of sacrificial obedience when you're in alignment and adjustment with the plan of God. Everything that has been intended for your life, the reward, the promise, the protection is released in that pathway. When God receives your sacrifice, whatever has been against you will turn for your favor. When you offer your sacrifice of praise to the Lord, your assignment comes into alignment, then you begin to have advancement. You see, your sacrifice is an act of worship, and the Old English definition means worth-ship. In other words, you are declaring God's sovereignty and his value. You're declaring his worthiness in your life as you surrender something of value for the sake of something else. When you discern your destiny, then the appointed time or season to offer your sacrifice comes to pass. Like the Hebrew leader Nehemiah, God begins to accelerate your destiny. What they could not accomplish in over 90 years, they will get done in 52 days. Accomplishing tasks will take shorter time because the presence of God has inhabited your praise. You say, Paula, what does this really have to do? Isn't praising just clapping my hands and lifting it up? No, no, no. Praise is your lifestyle of honoring God in every aspect that it has to offer. Now let's get back to my message. Let's get it right. And you're going to find out your praise always pays off. So he declares his original intention. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, have dominion. And watch what happens. Genesis chapter 8, verse 20. And Noah built an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. The word altar in the Hebrew means sacrifice. The first thing this family did to usher in the new era or the new beginning was sacrifice. It's not my subject, but hang tight because I'm getting you somewhere. The results in verse 21, you better hear this, is the Lord smelled a sweet savor. Smelled in the Hebrew means to breathe or inhale, to perceive, to anticipate, or to make quick understanding. After God perceived the sacrifice, he then reversed the curse. Because when he smelled it, the sacrifice, hear this is a word from the Lord, ushered in a new season of new beginning, a new era, an order of change. And it reversed the curse that God said, I will never again curse this land. It reversed the curse. It started with sacrifice, it continues with sacrifice, and it's going to end with sacrifice. Because if I had hours to dissect this, if I broke sacrifice all the way down, sacrifice comes to one thing. That is to draw nigh to God and to bring God's presence into your life. Because God declared his desire in Exodus chapter 25. It has never changed. It's been the heartthrob of God from the beginning that he would build himself a dwelling place and find a people that he could have relationship with and experience intimacy to show forth his glory. God's heartbeat has always remained the same. He wants to intertwine himself with you, with your life. He wants to interweave every bit about himself with every bit about yourself, to tabernacle, to join together through a weaving. God desires residence in you. I feel the Holy Spirit in this place. And you better hear the word of the Lord. The difference, while everybody wants promised land, get me to the promise, give me the promise. This is a year of promise, no doubt about it. No doubt. This is a year of cosmos. But let me show you the difference between Lot and Abraham. Abraham, every step, this is covenant people, every step he took, every move he made, he would stop and he would sacrifice. Lot never sacrificed. Lot served out a convenience. He wanted the promise, but he was never willing to pay the price. And God said, you're not going to get promise without price. The difference between Lot and Abraham is Lot served out a convenience. Some people had to be cut out of your life because they were leeches. They wanted the promise and they wanted all that God has for you, but they weren't willing to sacrifice. They wanted in on the price that you're paying, and God said, ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna cut them out, and you've got to let them go. Because before you're presented, I'll take you all the way over to the 8th day when Jesus, who was named before the foundation of the earth, was called. When you were called before you were ever born, when God determined you and he had already decided everything about you, then on the 8th day he was circumcised. And circumcision, I'm going to break it way down because I got to get you a long place right now. Circumcision has to do with this, a cutting away. Do I have to really go here, men? It's a cutting away of your flesh, come on, to expose something that has been hidden. You've got to cut some things out because there's something in you that needs to be revealed that cannot, because of some of the things attached to you that don't belong to you. Yes. And if they stay on you, they're going to cause infection. Yeah. Somebody slap your neighbor, say, she talking to you right now. So, after God perceived sacrifice, he reversed the curse because sacrifice ushered in the new season. Can I reveal to you some divine strategy of God that will implement you into the revelatory ministry and destination God has for you? God's pattern, plan, and philosophy can all be summed up in one triune word: sacrifice. It is the offering of something as an act of worship, the surrender of something of value for the sake of something else. God started with sacrifice, and he's going to finish it with sacrifice. And every time a person discerns their destiny, just like in Luke chapter 2, boy, I wish I had time to work it, then they brought forth and presented Jesus unto the Lord with sacrifice. Whenever you discern your destiny, your moment, you always unleash that with sacrifice. And sacrifice is not simply money. Get outside of that mindset. Sacrifice is that which is valuable to you in exchange for what is truly valuable. And when you get to that place, I'm going to take you to Nehemiah right now. You become like Nehemiah emphatically. And Nehemiah could do, and the people of God, in 52 days, what the Jews could not accomplish in 90 years. There was an accelerated destiny. By the way, Nehemiah is the 16th book of the Bible, which happens to be a double portion of 8. I'm not even going to go into Nehemiah being guide and govern. I don't have time for any of it. So Nehemiah in chapter 1 asks questions, because you never discover purpose without asking questions. The root of question is quest. If you're not willing to go on the journey, you'll never find the purpose. And so he asks questions, and he says, how are the Jews and how is Jerusalem? He said, how is God's place and how is God's people? Shows the motives of his heart and the purity of his walk. He said, well, how's God's place? How's God's people? They come back, tell him the report. You know, the city's burned, it's destroyed, the walls, the gates, goes through the whole thing. He discovers his purpose, chapter 2. Chapter 3, he gets people in alignment with the assignment of God. Don't miss this right now, because if you ever get an alignment with your assignment, it immediately brings forth advancement. He understood how critical it was for people to be placed next one to another. I taught you on the power of next, because alignments and assignments always bring advancements. That wants to bring you out of order, because advancement always invites attack, because nothing gets the enemy like order. God is a God of order.
It's been said